All right, I got this crotch log cedar in there. Somewhat balanced, not too great. I think the first thing I'm going to try to do is try to take off this little corner, start to round it over on each side, and then get my flat spot here. I think that's the plan. So let's get to it. A little bit more round on that. I think that'll work. Lock everything down, get my face mask on and my shield, and we're ready to roll. Alright, let's pick out the tool that I want to use. There's my gouge here. Yep, nice and sharp, ready to roll. Alright, let's get started. Hope I didn't take you guys out too bad. But that's what happens when you get a catch and this thing lets go. Luckily for this machine, when it does that, it'll throw the breaker on the system I have and throw the switch off. But it ain't always perfect. It caught right there. So people make mistakes, so I like to be real. That was a mistake. See, it caught that soft spot, it bounced off, and then when it went back, it caught in right there. So let's see if I can get this thing to actually lock on a little better than it was. That's part of the problem. I knew I was right at the edge, so let me get that drilled out a little more and try to get a little better hold on it, then we'll bring it back. Alright, we'll try that over again. I had such good luck with not having to use the tailstock on a few of these other small ones without being an issue, but this is soft wood, and I don't have the worm drive screw for it. Wind forgot to send it with it, so I'm still waiting on it. But with little bowls like this, I don't normally need to use it. I should have put the tail support on it. That's my bad, but you live and learn. That's the way it is. So let's get her done. Get back on that horse. Let's see where we're at now. Yeah, see, that wood just tears. It's cedar until you get it nice and kind of rounded. It wants to catch on these little corners. So let me go sharpen up this gouge, and that will help a lot. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see if we can get this end over here done, this top side. I mean, look how beautiful that is. Look at that. It's going to have a lot of character, that's for sure. A lot of character. Let's get her going. That soft cedar, boy, you got to be careful. See, I'm starting to catch right there in that corner. See how it digs in there once in a while? You can't be aggressive with cedar. This is so soft. You got to be really gentle with it. Not pushing in or it'll dig in like that. So, I think it's time to go sharpen my gouge again. Get myself around this side a little more. Try to get this rounded a little bit. Alright, we got it sharp again. Go dull fast, but you got to keep a good sharp edge. Now you can see how a lot of difference, the sharp tool, how it cuts, you can hear it. And it's not tearing it as bad. But I need to make a note in my head here, where I'm at. I want to work on this section right here. I want to try to finish that up. Get that rounded over. That one's good, but I want to get that one done. So I'll go down on each one of these. See where we're at here. Got that one, we got that one, and we got that one. Hallelujah. We got all three of them. We still have a pretty good flat spot here, one here, and I'm not worried about getting rid of those neither. But now we got to do something with the base of the bowl here. Let's figure out what we're going to do there. Thinking I'd like to have that right in here. Let me do something here real quick. I'm gonna grab a marker and put a mark right here, and that tells me that I want to start from here over. I don't want to go on this side because I want to try to keep as much of that as possible. So let's see what we can do here. Really close to my line. remember, I got this. Making pretty quick work of it. I sharpen these a little different than the way they come, so my corners are a little more aggressive, and that's mainly for the harder woods. And I got to remember that I have it set that way. For these soft woods, it'll really take off. Have you seen it? This really starts biting in on me. I'm almost to my mark, so I got a little bit of bark there, but I think I want to use. It's enough of that. Let me find my bowl gouge here. No, it's down here. There it is. Alright, 5/8 bowl gouge. That's what happens. That's what happens when it gets dull. They don't do much of anything. No, we're getting there. I can actually do that. I prefer to do that with this tool. Take my 3/8. Yeah, 3/8 bowl gouge. You start, so we'll use that, so it won't tear it as much. Good. Go ahead and slow her down a little bit. I think that'll pop off of there without any issue. I just like to get it a little smooth, make sure this is concaved the way I want it. Now I can bring my tailstock over here so I can get a measurement with a pencil for my Alright, let's see if we can get this sanded up a little bit. It's a little rough, especially right there. Like I say, sometimes you just gotta let them sit overnight and then they'll sand back up the next day. Let's see what that got us. Well, that got us a lot better than it was. It's still going to be a little problem area there. But like I say, a lot of times when you're cutting in these into the wood, you know, the moisture's still heavier. I don't care how long it's been sitting, it's always going to be heavier inside or higher. So a lot of times when I do these, I may turn to several blanks or get them ready, and then I'll preliminary sand them, and I'll take them over and set them on the counter, sometimes a day or two. Let that dry, get nice and dry, it'll sand out just as pretty as can be. So sometimes that's what you got to do. But it's going to be interesting. You got 3 bullseyes, and then you got 2 flat spots. I actually got 1 flat spot. I did get the other ones out. All right, that's all good though. I like it. You guys like it? So we're gonna go inside. I'm gonna grab me a coffee, and we'll be right back just like that. Well, welcome back. I know for you it's just another film clip, just 2 milliseconds ago, but I went out and filled my belly. I cleaned up my workstation, and now it's back to getting onto this cedar crotch log. I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I can't wait to put the sanding sealer on it. This is going to be a pretty one. I haven't done a lot of cedar. I know it's very pretty. I usually do cedar, you know, you're using the logs and you're making candles, or you're making you know, candle holders and stuff like that, but I've not done a crotch log. So as far as cedar goes, so this is the first one for me. So let's get it sealed up with sanding sealer and show us how pretty it's gonna be. I'm kind of excited. I got it all sanded down to about 600 grit. So we get it sanded down, then it'll be a split second for you. We'll be back and we'll be flipping it over and working on the bowl side of the project. So let me get you aimed down here. There she is. Get you in good and close. This is the Mylan sanding sealer. Now let's see how it looks, because I think it's going to be awesome. Get a little bit on the inside first, work my way out. Make sure you get all the pores done. There we go. I tell you, cedar is just so pretty. It can really throw some colors out at you. That bright red. I saw this little piece of cedar and I was like, you know what? I think that with that crotch log would probably make some pretty nice looking project. I've always wanted to try one. This was small enough so we can make a nice little bowl out of it, and it's dry enough, because cedar, you know, get a lot of sap in it, and you can't work with cedar if it's not dry. It just makes a big old mess. And we took these trees down last year, so it's just been kind of hanging out there in the drying pile from some logs that we cut up, making some siding and other projects out of. Man, boy, is that some color. Look at that. Just want to make sure I get it in all the nooks and crannies. You see that? Man, that is some color. Let's bring you on down here. Look at that. Isn't that just... I can't go real slow with this. I got it on the second belt, or I'd spin it for you. But I've got a turner for display, so when we get done, I can put it on that turner. We go nice and slow, and you'll be able to see it. Now, can you imagine that's going to be on the inside of the bowl as well? Man, I'm looking forward to that, that's for sure. Pretty stuff, really pretty stuff. Well, let me get myself cleaned up. In just a few moments, we'll be back and working on the inside. I'm not going to seal it up other than a sanding sealer. I'll wait to do the final finish on it once the whole thing's turned and sealed. Alright, well, it's time to get started on the front side of this cedar. It's going to be a little gnarly. I had to chisel some of this away to begin with in order to get the clamp in there, so it's going to beat up on me a little bit until I get some of this cleaned up. I was hoping to have some of the bark in there, but I think we're going to be right in here somewhere, and then we'll just have to take the bark off. It'll look nice, but I'm going to try to leave like probably about a ½ inch here. I want a good fat, you know, 3/8 of an inch or something like that around the outside. So let's get started. Get out here. Let's kind of get an idea of where we're at. That's about as close as I want to be there on this side. That's about as close as I want to be on that side. So yeah, it's going to leave me a little edge there. So that'll work. Still digging in a little bit, pretty hard on this outer side there. I got a little bit there, pretty even. So I'll have to clean all that off. I'll clean this off. Got to keep checking and see what you've taken off. Like, I don't even mind that eventually having like a flat lip around it that kind of came around. I could sand this down and make it a little less sharp, but it doesn't do any good to keep a lot of that bark, because the bark's really tore up. It's not any good. It's all going to come off. But I just don't want to get rid of my design over here, because you can see the growth rings. So I'm trying not to get into this too much. I can go in a little bit more, so that's going to help me inside. And say I can always round that off. I think I'm just going to go ahead and try to flatten that front up a little bit and see what it looks like. Just try to go as slow as I can. Don't take too much off. Get too excited, can't put it back. Alright, I'm going to use my little homemade cutout, because I can kind of make a round edge, and I can do it reverse too, but it's kind of my own little profile. Let's kind of get an idea what that looks like. Oh yeah. I really don't like your profile they put on there on that bull gouge at all. Something about that other bow gown, when they created it, they didn't create them equal. And this one just doesn't work good at all. I'm going to fix the profile on that. Oh, we got a little bit of decay right there. I don't know how far in that goes. She's going to run into that. Bugs or something got into it. I don't think it goes that deep. I think we're going to end up going beyond that anyway. So let's keep on taking her down. She's really thick. I just got to watch the depth here, but I got a long ways to go. So let's get her done. got that void in there somewhere that I keep hitting. There's some soft spots in here, see that? That squeal in it. It's really soft. And it's got to go in there a long ways. Still got quite a bit more to take out of there. So it's getting there though. I got down, this ended up a little thin here on this one side, so that'll have to be sanded by hand. But I wanted a 3-step bowl top. So you got one here at about a 30, you're flat, and then another 30 here. And when that's sanded up, that looks really nice. I got down, this ended up a little thin here on this one side, so that'll have to be sanded by hand. But I wanted a 3-step bowl top. So you got one here at about a 30, you're flat, and then another 30 here. And when that's sanded up, that looks really. I like to feather in, like I like that abnormally. Then you just got to kind of feather everything in using a sandpaper. But I really like that. I don't know if you guys like that or not. I don't want it to be all uniform, perfectly uniform. You lock this in here, and it'll hold it. Just got to remember to unlock it. I mean, it's not hard to sand. You can take pretty rough stuff and get it sanded down pretty nice. So that is the benefit of it being soft. So, but see these little dead spots right here, man, they'll catch your gouge or whatever you're cleaning that up with real in a heartbeat. So you almost gotta, look at that, put my finger in it. You gotta be real kind of lightly going across there, or she'll dig in. It did it on me a couple times. Caught me off guard. Matter of fact, there's a little bit of a hole there. I'm not even going to bother to fix it because I'm getting too thin. It'll be fine. So now I'm going to switch over the grit here, and we will be right back. I'd use my new dust collection system, the wind product I just bought. It stopped working. It's got power, the breaker's not blown. You flip the switch back and forth and nothing. So I'm stuck without a vacuum system. until I can get in touch with them. It's smoothing it up pretty nice. Got that little spot where it gouged in, some dead spots in the, see that right there? That'll make for some nice color when we go to stain it. The rough spot right there, it's really, so we'll just, I'll lock this in. Just gotta remember, if you lock it in, when you try to start it, you unlock it. I think that'll take care of that spot. Oh yeah, took care of that one, no problem. All right, let's switch. I think we're just gonna live with it. I'm gonna sand it a little bit though. A little bit of dip right there. Oh, another foam came off. Oh, the pad's tore up. Yeah, see how that little, it's a little bit of like a bad spot, and if you try to keep trying to clean it up, it's just going to dig in a little more. That's what we call character. It gives it character. Oh man, I ripped the little little sticky thing came off of those. These little things don't last long. I bought a whole kit of them though. They're pretty cheap. That one's done. But we're getting there. I still don't want to do, I want to do a little something here to get that a little more flat. But we're getting close to putting a finish on it, so hang tight. See that bad spot right there? Time to clean up again. I wouldn't have quite as much to clean up if the dust collector had worked. I think it's less than a week in a dust collector I got from Wynn. Just, it was working. I went inside to eat dinner, came back out, went to turn it on, nothing. Fuse isn't blown and it has power. So my third phone call to Wynn about a problem. So I'll have to pack it up, send it off, waste gas money. Wish they could just build the products right. Sometimes it's not that they'll replace it, it's the hassle you go through replacing it that you shouldn't have to deal with. Alright, I think we're good to go to put some sanding sealer on it. Like I say, I'll probably have to, I probably won't even fill that. I'll just get the sanding sealer and let it bond onto that, because that's part of the character. We're building and making products that have character. I don't want boring, everyday, squared off, perfect products. That's not who I am. I want unique, different, and odd. That's who I am. Alright, it's time to seal it up. I'm not sure if any of you guys use this. Leave it in the comments. Mylands. And this is a cellulose sanding sealer for wood turning. Any of you guys use this? Any other wood turners? It seems to be a pretty good product. I've been happy with it so far. It seems to really seal everything up really good. 2 coats. You don't probably even need 2 coats, but I like to get 2 coats on it. Let it dry real good. Do like another sanding of like 180. knock down any raised grain, then take it up to about a 400 or 600, just depending on what sandpaper I got, and then do another coat of it in the spots that I had to sand a little more. Now, this is one unique bowl. I really love finding these sections of lumber that aren't too big, but they have a crotch in them. Anywhere a branch breaks off. Pretty easy to work with. It's not too heavy, not too bulky, not too hard on the machine. This whole piece was about 8.5 by 8.5, and then it had the little branch sticking out. Went out a little further, but I cut everything back at like 8.5 inches to work with. That seems to have done just fine. You got to get this stuff on there though, because it dries pretty quick. And it gets kind of sticky when it starts drying. You can't wipe it on anymore. So you got to be kind of quick. I'm talking too much. Probably 'cause I got that big fan blowing in the background too. You got to have air moving. Alright, pretty nice. I think I'm going to dump. Not much left to dump in there. I'll dump the rest of the sanding sealer in that little hole. Let it really get up in there. I'll probably end up putting some wood super glue in there just to help hold together. This one I will sand down, and I will use the polyacrylic on it. There's a little more in there. There we go. Now we get it soaked in there real good. I'm going to use the polyacrylic on this one. We can really make that color shine. Make it pop. It's got a lot of character, that's for sure. Alright, that's it for right now. Let this set overnight, and then I'll be right back with you. We'll lightly sand it, do another seal coat, let that dry for about an hour or so, probably overnight. Okay, it's that time. It's time to finish it. Put the polyacrylic on. Watch it really shine. Couple coats of this, a little bit of buffing. This thing will be shining. Should be really talking to you. Beautiful. Couple light coats of the polyacrylic, and I'll do the bottom once I take it off later. This is convenient for putting it on. Make sure I get a good coat on it. Doesn't take a whole lot, but I like to make sure I get a good coat on it. I like to put at least 3 coats of this on there. Usually I'll put the first coat on, and then I'll give it like an hour or so, come back and do a light sanding, and then I'll clean it up and let it dry. Just make sure it's good and dry for about an hour, put a second coat on it, and then wait overnight or maybe even a little longer, and then I'll come back and do like 400 grit, or you know, way up there, 800 grit. Really get that thing shining, put one more coat on it, and then go ahead and do another final sanding, and man, it'll look like a piece of glass. And if there's any nooks or crannies, which you get when you turn, it's hard to get it all perfect, it'll be just as smooth as can be. So let's look and see what we started with here. I've got what's going to be its twin brother. This is actually a little teeny bit bigger, but that's what we started out with. That circle came right out of right in here. Now this one's got a little bit of more decay and a little bit of twist over here, so I'll probably make, because of this void right here, I'll probably make my circle on this side. This will be the bowl side, the other side will be the bottom, because it's a little more solid. So that's the next piece that we'll be turning. So there you go, went from that to that. Isn't that just beautiful?